Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Spectre React and today we're doing a video that's a bit of a passion project. Yes, we know that this probably won't do great numbers wise, but who cares? This video is about our responses to a bunch of the awesome people who commented in our Loki finale leaks video. Every week so far you guys have been killing it in the comment section and I thought it would be sick to talk about some of your theories. I'm really pumped to see these, so here we go. So the first comment we have is by Joe Lanigan. Shout out to you, Joe Lanigan. You've been commenting since the very beginning. So your comment was, I'm sure they're gonna have a post-credit scene in the finale with Ravonna Renslayer talking to a mysterious person who's obviously the one she's reporting to. And that person will be Kang. But we're not gonna actually see or hear from him during the show, just like they did at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Alright, to be honest, I feel like Joe's pretty spot on over here. It looks like from the trend that they've been going on these Marvel TV shows so far that they don't really like to show off the villain in total. It would kind of disappoint the fans a little bit, but if they go that Falcon and the Winter Soldier route, it's still more than WandaVision, so I'm not really mad at that.
That's true. Yeah, WandaVision had some pretty disappointing results, if you ask me. But I think this show so far is shaping up to be a whole lot more satisfying to the fans.
Yeah, just with all the teasers that they've been giving so far, it'd be really crazy if they didn't do anything with Kang. But you know what? Joe, basically what we're trying to say is you're probably right, but as fans, we hope you're wrong.
Yeah, we really want to see Kang in this.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe though. Joe's been commenting for real since the very beginning. Shout out to you,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to you, Joe. Next up, we got a comment from James Willoughby, who says the villain could be Evil Loki, Kane the Conqueror, or Baron Mordo. However, I've been suspecting since episode 4 that it's Wanda Maximoff all along. I reached this theory by wondering why you can't use magic inside the TVA. It was during WandaVision that the idea that someone could deactivate magic for others using magic runes was introduced to me. Also, the red glowing symbols inside the Timekeeper's chamber reminded me of Wanda's runes. If I wanted a twist ending, it would be Evil Loki. If I wanted to link to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it would be Baron Mordo. If I wanted something that confirms most of the Easter egg signs and clues, it's Kang the Conqueror. However, the one explanation I can think of why you can't use magic inside the TVA makes me think it's Wanda Maximoff. I think it's Wanda. So point is, he thinks it's Wanda.
Yeah, this guy really thinks it's Wanda. I like his breakdown though. If they're going for like a twist ending, they're gonna make it King Loki. If they're going for this things that like the really obvious thing, they're gonna go for King the Conqueror, and they might relate it to Baron Mordo somehow. The thing I have about that is that this show is set in 2012. So I don't think Baron Mordo or Wanda are really options here since like this is an outside of time kind of thing, right? So Wanda's really in Sokovia at this time. Like she maybe her magic could have been used if they're really going for a twist. Maybe her like the energy that she has could be used. Maybe they related to the Darkhold, which relates to Baron Mordo somehow. But at this time, Baron Mordo and Wanda. Well, Wanda's a little kid, and Baron Mordo is a hero.
That's true. So, speaking of your Darkhold reference, I think a nice place to put that in would be that library, which we're going to in the finale. But, I don't think that. So, first of all, this show doesn't entirely take place in 2012 because they mentioned the TVA is sort of beyond time
Right.
and they can jump to whatever point they want on the sacred timeline. So, I don't think Wanda in 2012 is capable of conjuring, like, I don't know, an interdimensional time agency, for Christ's sake, right?
Right, right. Exactly. Maybe if she was, an older version of her, but again, that's a little complicated. I don't know where they're going with this whole multiverse of madness thing, but as far as we know right now, Wanda is probably the last person I suspect of being the villain.
100%.
However, again, Marvel proved me wrong.
And just like an aside, one explanation that I have for why you can't use magic inside the TVA is because they kind of want to like sterilize it and make sure that no funny business goes on to screw up their plans, right?
Also, if it's located in the quantum realm like we're thinking, or if it's like related to the quantum realm, that would make sense too, because the only thing that beat the Infinity Stones last time was the quantum realm, and Wanda gets her powers from the Infinity
Yeah,
Stones.
these aren't like your everyday people, right? These are super powerful people who can control the sacred timeline. So I'm sure they have anti magic tools at their disposal.
So the only way, in conclusion, that I see that it could be Wanda is if they really go crazy with this multiverse of madness thing, and it's like an older version of Wanda or like a different version of Wanda.
That sure make for a compelling twist, but at the same time, I do think it's unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. All right, next we've got Jax. MCU will do what they always do with big bad villains. They did the same thing with Thanos. Kang won't be the main villain for the Loki show, but whoever it is will be working for Kang, and we'll see Kang in a post-credit scene once it's all over, just like how Loki and Ronan were working for Thanos.
I think that's a very interesting possibility. And as you said, the MCU has a track record of doing that. But I'm wondering, like, who exactly this intermediary of Kang would be. Because I'm sure, knowing the MCU's track record for foreshadowing and having a plan, they have dropped hints as to who this big boss is, but I can't really put that together.
Well, I mean, in a way, he's kind of just saying what we said as well, which was that Kang would just have like a little teeny weeny scene where he would just be like smiling or on the chair or something, kind of a la Thanos. Um, Ravonna could be the most obvious person who is the intermediary for Kang.
I actually think that's a very cool possibility because, yeah, in the comics, right, Ravonna and Kang have had a relationship and they've conspired together on numerous occasions.
You know what would be hilarious though if they really go with this Miss Minutes has an arc thing? What if Miss Minutes was the intermediary for Kang? Like she was the behind the scenes villain this whole time.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
That would be an interesting thing right there.
I honestly kind of hope this happens, but if it does happen, like, I want Kang to show up.
Yeah, at the end, just like a post credit scene where, Jonathan Majors is just like, all right, Miss Minutes, what's good?
Yeah. I don't want them to just be like, "Oh, I have a mysterious boss who no one's ever heard of, and you're gonna see him in Ant-Man," right?
Right, right, right. And like it's not just like Miss Minutes is like just having a conversation with somebody like Sharon Carter did on the phone.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Next up, we got a comment from DJ808 CEO who says there's a scene with Mobius back in the TVA with Hunter B-15 in the Time Theater looking at Loki's past again. So I think that's where we'll see King Loki. It's either that or Kang in some form of himself, making them think it's King Loki, but it's just another curtain to pull back. Something's still sketchy about Renslayer and Miss Minutes. Not sure how it's going to end, but remember, it won't fully end because there's a season 2 coming. The scene I'm talking about is from the trailer for episode 6. Now, I never heard about season 2 being confirmed. I don't know about you.
I don't think we know for a fact season two is coming, but we have heard rumors, so I think he's talking about the rumors. Um, it's either I guess I do like the King Loki theory. I've been hearing, and again, this is a continuous theory that people have been coming up with that King Loki is not just not just a vision or something. It's like an actual thing, and he's the intermediary between Kang. Like going back to the last comment we just talked about, that would be a really cool thing too.
There is precedent in the show for there being other Tom Hiddleston variants of Loki. After all, in the last episode, Tom Hiddleston played President Loki and our Loki.
Yeah, that's true, and it would be really cool to see another King Loki that's like really achieved a lot as Tom Hiddleston, as opposed to the one where we've seen like, all the Lokis that Tom Hiddleston's played so far has just been him getting his ass kicked one way or the other. So I would like to see him kind of be like the successful Loki. The second part of your comment is actually very true as well. If this movie doesn't even, if this show doesn't even have a season two, it might have like, it might translate to a different movie in the future. So I doubt that they're gonna tie everything perfectly into a nice little bow and end it.
Yeah, knowing how they love to leave room for future installments, be that a movie or a TV show. I think, yeah, I don't think we're going to get all of our questions answered.
Yeah, look what they did for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They said it's gonna be finished in Captain America 4, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so point is, we're going to be seeing a lot more of Loki, hopefully, right?
Yeah, and this guy is completely correct. All the answers will not be given, but hopefully there will be some. All right, so next we've got the most in-depth and creative comment that I think we've had so far by Bloodbat and Beyond, which is probably the one store that I don't want to be shopping at. Their comment says, I think Loki and Sylvie enter the castle. They get split up. Ravonna enters around the same time and encounters Sylvie. Loki encounters King Loki, who has somehow imprisoned Kang in some time loop prison. Ravonna incapacitated Sylvie while Loki and King Loki are duking it out. Ravonna frees Kang and he restores her memory, and they whisk away to another timeline to regroup. Sylvie and Loki subdue or defeat King Loki, and while Mobius and Hunter B-15 destroy the TVA with the assistance of Miss Minutes, unleashing all the timelines. Post-credit scene, Doctor Strange and Wanda are sensing a disturbance in the Force or multiverse.
Well,
I
first
know
of all,
you like that.
like that Star Wars reference right there. But I think it's definitely possible that Ravonna, in a way, is able to free Kang. But at the same time, if I were Kang, I certainly wouldn't be caught inside a time loop.
It'd be interesting to see Kang caught by a Loki. Again, this is going back to the King Loki. Like this guy has to be like the most successful Loki ever
Yeah,
to have captured Kang,
Jesus Christ! Like you're stopping the basically like the king of time,
the
right? Yeah,
Conqueror.
the conqueror of
Yeah,
time.
the Conqueror. I like it. It's again, it's really creative. What I do want to say is I think everything that you've had so far is super plausible. Maybe the time loop prison thing is the least likely thing, but even more than that, the post-credit scene, I would honestly love to see this happen in real life, to see Doctor Strange and Wanda sensing a disturbance in the Force. Um, it'd just be really cool to see different, like, it would finally do what I've been asking for like forever. Can Marvel just connect the shows and the movies?
Yeah, so not gonna spoil Black Widow here, but there is a scene where at the end, the post credit scene where they connect to a TV show. And I know you were losing your mind when that happened, right?
Exactly. I was just so happy that they're doing that. So maybe they connected somehow. And also, I remember back in the day when WandaVision was coming out, they had Tom Hiddleston and Benedict Cumberbatch at the press conference like right before the show dropped. So, maybe they had that post-credit scene ready for WandaVision and they're just dropping it here since, all the dates got messed up due to COVID.
Yeah, that is what happened with the Black Widow scene because it was meant for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
And what's crazy is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie has already started filming in London after it got locked down. I think they started filming again. So it's not even like that they couldn't have filmed the scene and sent it over.
Yeah, that's very true.
So Bloodbat and Beyond, the more I see your theory, the more I like it, other than the Kang in a time loop prison part, because I just feel like they're not gonna do that. Just because they always find a way to like really hype up their new villains. You know what I'm saying? Like with Thanos killing Loki.
Exactly.
So if Kang is a new villain, they're not gonna let him get trapped by somebody, let alone Loki.
I think it'd be cool if they pulled kind of like an Infinity Blade and had Kang be like this lurking threat who's in prison, but like once he gets freed, then shit starts to hit the fan.
Oh, I get it. Okay, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Like kind of like like kind of like a Kung Fu Panda Tai Lung situation. That's what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it. All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So now I like this part of your theory too. 10 out of 10. You know what? Bloodbath and Beyond, you get a little 100. You get a little 100. This is the best comment so far. Thank you for
Certified
this.
100 right here.
Certified 100. You're going to see it in your response.
Our final comment is from my point of view, who says, probably a post credit scene. Ravonna Renslayer has been pruned probably by Mobius or B-15 and ends up in the void. And they introduce Nathaniel Richardson to her. Remember, his building is in there, so why not Nathaniel? And Kang is introduced this way. I think that Loki will be tempted by whomever is in the castle, but will choose Sylvie over the illusion. We have seen pictures that Loki and Sylvie and Mobius all make it back to TVA. The very final battle will be there. I will expect the castle battle to be short. Then we get to see Mobius ride his jet ski into the sunset. Now, first of all, that sounds like an A1 ending, right? That's what I've been begging for since day one. Mobius needs to get his jet ski.
Yeah, as soon as I read that, I knew you would love that because that is a perfect ending. You know how in like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they had that last zoomed out shot like with the sunset ending?
I remember that. Yeah, that was really beautiful.
That's exactly how I want them to end this show. And also, I do like the idea of Mobius coming back and freeing B-15, and together they take out the TVA boss, which is Ravonna, and they freed the variants.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty spot on ending right there. I'd love to see these TVA employees, if you can call them that, freed from whoever is imprisoning them.
As far as meeting Nathaniel Richards over there, in the void, I don't know if he would have survived. I do get the idea, like because the building, because Kang Enterprises was there, it also could be that he's there as well.
He's
I
just chilling in the wreck of the
Yeah, in
tower.
the wreck somehow, but I think Elias would have gotten him if that were the case. So maybe she does make her way to Castle Limbo somehow, and then meets Nathaniel Richards.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty funny if, they just like walk in and like the minute they walk in, Kang's just like, yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, exactly. That would basically just be a perfect little teaser to him and when he gets an Ant-Man Quantumania. And I don't think Ravona's character or Mobius's character is really done with the MCU yet.
I don't think so, and it'd be a pretty huge waste of Owen Wilson for them to actually end his character here.
Very true. Very true. If they're gonna keep Loki in the show, they should probably keep Mobius in the MCU. If they're gonna keep Loki, then they should probably keep Mobius in the MCU as well.
Yeah, and I like how they say that like Loki will be tempted by whomever is in the castle, but will choose Sylvie over the illusion. Like I think that's a reference to what we were saying before, where like
About King
uh
Loki,
yeah, King Loki is the illusion that tempts him.
exactly. I think Kang in the castle will give him that timeline. Like, here, you can go rule. This could be you, and just let me take out Sylvie because Sylvie's been a pain in my ass, and just let me take her out. Let me stop all this stuff that you've created, and now you can be your own king. And he's probably gonna take Sylvie over that. Sylvie becomes the glorious purpose instead of this, king fantasy.
I think Sylvie already is his glorious purpose in a way, but I do think whoever's behind this TVA front definitely knows what they're doing with illusions. Remember those puppets that were the timekeepers? So I think it's definitely a possibility that they will tempt Loki with visions of him being a king. Like, there are two ways this will go.
Yeah, even taking him up there, and I think it'd be really funny if like Loki in fact rejects Kang completely and says, you know what, I'd rather be with Sylvie and I don't want to be king anymore, and that would really just mean that in the like month or so, or even less, that Loki has joined the TVA and met Sylvie. He's evolved more than his entire MCU journey.
It's very true. Now, they do bring up an interesting point when they say the final battle will be there, but it's going to be short. So I think, honestly, with the amount of questions that we need answered in the finale, that seems to be a very likely possibility. I don't think they'll have time to do like a 10-minute giant CGI battle sequence.
Yeah, I don't think they need to as well. Just like it depends how much time they spend trying to discover stuff. Like my hope is that they spend not too long discovering stuff and they spend more time talking with whoever the like ruler is of the TVA. But also, who are they fighting against is the real question, right?
Yep.
Would they really be able to fight against Kang because Kang is such a high power level?
I mean, if they do fight against Kang, he's not going to go down because he is going to show up in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Exactly. My guess would be that they fight that whole fight scene in the library would be against like a patsy.
That's true, yeah, like an intermediary of Kang.
Before we end, shout out to Volts because of this comment right here genuinely made our day.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. We pride ourselves in delivering the kind of content that we ourselves would want to see. So we're so glad that you like it too.
Huge thank you to all the people who commented. We really appreciate it. We'll be doing more videos like this in the future, so keep commenting your theories. That's all we got for you right now. See you next time for our review of the finale.